Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Pure Logic Podcast. I am your host, The Logical Dude, your favorite van life living, crypto investing digital nomad. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a wonderful morning so far, sitting out here at this beautiful park, watching the birds chirp, the squirrels run around. I got parents chasing kids everywhere, so if you hear a kid, sorry. That's just a part of van life. I don't have a fancy studio to do this in. I'm chilling at a public park. But yeah, I just want to thank you for coming and hanging out with me for a little bit today. And if you're on 3speak.tv, you're already in the right place on the Hive blockchain. Web 3.0 decentralized social media, where you own your data, not big tech oligarchies that are trying to control you and silence you and censor you. But I'm also on Spotify. So if you are on the mainstream media sections, I'm still on Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. I'm still not on Apple Podcasts yet. I swear it's because they know who I am and they got a grudge against me. But I left Apple on good terms. I left on my terms, actually. So I was actually counted as rehireable. So that's what I got to say. I want my podcast everywhere because I want everybody to be able to hear my questionable dudely wisdom, because that's what this podcast is all about, is just really whatever I want to talk about. And I try to educate and help the masses be as dudely as you possibly can be. And if you've never listened to my podcast before, watched any of my videos, I'm a big fan of the Big Lebowski. I'm actually an ordained dudist minister from the Church of the Latter-day Dude. You should check it out. We're the world's laziest religion. We're a good group of people to hang out with. So, based on that, let's get talking about the dude's 10 steps to reducing stress. Because this aggression cannot stand, man. If you've never watched The Big Lebowski, please go watch it. I don't care if you've seen it 0 or 1,000 times, man. It's always just a good time to sit back, smoke a J, smoke a bong, whatever, drink a beer, whatever your vice is, and chill out and watch some dude. If you think about it on a philosophical level, that movie will actually change your life. So, let's get into talking about these 10 steps to reducing stress that I basically practice on a daily basis. So, because these are things that I'm really working through in my own life, and that's the kind of stuff that I share with you guys, because hopefully it can help you on your journey. Because we're all just learning every day. We're all learning something new. We're all experiencing this thing together. We're all part of the same human consciousness, just experiencing it in a different way. We're all having separate experiences. But some of us have a lot of the same kind of stressful situations that we have to deal with. I mean, look at the world situation that we got going on. Everybody's stressed out right now. Like, oh man, I've been dealing with a bunch of, with my family, with, my ex-wife and my daughter, and my son's not so much or anything really worried about stuff. He just plays video games all the time. Bless his heart. He's got some disabilities. He's on the SSI stuff, but he's learning some stuff, and we're trying to work on getting some online skills and things like that. I mean, he's amazing online, but he has his issues to where he would have a hard time working a regular job because he goes down with headaches for sometimes a day or two at a time, that kind of thing. So he's a bit on the autistic spectrum as well. So, getting him going, trying to get him going in the right direction. But my daughter, she's been really stressed out lately. She went back to school. She made that decision because she's my little social butterfly, and, or was until all this COVID struck, and then that really changed her a lot. And, if they say, oh, it's not affecting the kids, oh, absolutely it has affected the kids. And it's not just the young kids, man. I mean, my daughter just turned 17. It has seriously messed her up. She's become all kind of like antisocial and, just anxious around crowds and stuff, it's, you know, it turned her into a different kid. So she's been dealing with a lot of stress, and we've been dealing with stress as a family, and just, and this is one thing that we've all been kind of working on together. So this is why I'm sharing it with you guys. So my first step when I get into a stressful situation is I just first stop and just start breathing. And not just the little short, shallow breaths that we take on a normal, daily, everyday, just moving around conscious basis, but that deep breathing. Like, I mean, that, honestly, learning how to breathe changed my life. Started listening to Wim Hof, and he hit the nail on the head. And I'm quoting here, "Just breathe, motherfucker." And it's absolutely true. You just got to sit back and just breathe. And you got to take those big, deep breaths too. So, you know, the regimen that I use for deep breathing is I like to, you know, I follow that Wim Hof method kind of thing where I'll take a big, deep, like as much as I can inhale in, and then kind of like a shorter exhale. And then as much as I can inhale, a shorter exhale. Because that way what I'm doing is I'm pumping in a bunch of oxygen into my body, into my bloodstream, and I am exhaling the carbon dioxide and just filling my body with oxygen. So I do that for about 15, 20, sometimes 30 breaths. And I stop and then I hold my breath for about 30 seconds. Or as long as you can really hold it. But I like to do like a rhythm. So because I do this a couple of times. I've got my own way of doing the Wim Hof method kind of thing. I don't do the whole cold bath thing. You know, sometimes I'll let the shower get cold or whatever, you know, but not my thing. I'm not, you know, cold weather. No, not my thing on that. I don't go and jump in the water and freaking 50-degree water. No, I'm gonna go with that. But the breathing part is freaking amazing. I just have my own little version of it. So I hold my breath for about 30 seconds to a minute if you can, and then just exhale slowly and kind of hold that exhale for about 20 or 30 seconds. And then start the process again. I like to do that 2 or 3 times if I can, and just, because man, what that does is that releases all kind of crazy dopamines. And if you can get deep enough and hold that breath for long enough, what it does is it stresses your body out. Because, you know, if you can hold that exhale breath, where you exhale out and then just hold it, like where you're not breathing in or anything, and wait until your body absolutely just takes over and breathes in for you, almost on an involuntary level. What that does is that puts your body into like a, you know, that fight or flight, that stress mechanism, kind of inducing stress, but it releases endorphins. It releases basically DMT into your natural DMT receptors become active at that point. And the healing feelings that you can feel up and down your body are absolutely amazing. And you can focus on pain and things like that. It's crazy what you can do when you're breathing. But just in a stressful situation, because that got a little off base there, but we're going to roll with it. Even just in a, you know, stressful situation where you need just a minute, where you don't have, you know, if you don't have time to do the big deep breathing exercises, just sometimes just taking a step back and just taking 10 just deep breaths. Count them down. Count from 10. Close your eyes if you can. Don't do it when you're driving. But taking a big deep breath and just focusing on that breath. Don't focus on anything else but that breath for at least a countdown from 10 to 1. And I promise you're going to feel a little bit better. You're going to think a little clearer. You're going to be able to attack the situation with a little bit better mindset. If you just stop and fucking breathe. Now, if you're like me and you are a cannabis fanatic, then you might take a couple of breaths filled with some cannabis smoke, some of that THC or some CBD to, if you're on that anxious level. Sometimes THC is not the answer for everybody, but man, CBD is almost the answer for everybody in my personal opinion. CBD is beautiful. Doesn't get you high, but man, it'll knock down that anxiety a few notches, that's for sure. But, that's me. That's just this dude, But yeah. Learning how to deliberately breathe, especially during like a meditation exercise, can basically kill whatever stress you're feeling. You just have to learn how to harness those powers of your brain, and it's just so simple to do. You don't need all these anti-anxiety medicines and all this kind of stuff. You just gotta learn how to breathe. Buddhist monks have been doing it for years. Just saying, there's some ancient science behind it. As well as there is for step number 2, and that is meditation. So if you have the time to get away from the stressful situation, to find yourself in a quiet place, do those breathing exercises, but include it with some meditation. I meditate. I try to meditate at least once a day in the mornings. Lately, it's been at the gym. I like to get on that hydro massage bed at Planet Fitness. Hey, that $23 a month Black Card membership. Just the hydro massages alone is worth that stuff, man. No sponsorship, nothing like that. That's just what I do. But, and you guys know I live the van life, so that's also where I shower and stuff too. And I get to work out and then go and go get blasted with some jets up and down my body. It's a beautiful thing. I like to do my little breathing stuff right before the machine starts. And then I just go into like this whole meditative state as it's blasting me up and down with water. And I'm going to tell you what, that will change a man. But just meditation alone, just learn how to just sit and quietly meditate and just be with yourself. That's what people don't just stop and just be with themselves and just go inward and focus on the things that are causing you the stress and just dealing with them. That's the problem. Nobody deals with it. But it should come to you as no surprise that meditation is an excellent way to help relieve your stress. But when you do it correctly, it should release your mind and allow you to focus on peace. Many people struggle trying to get into meditation at first, just because our minds are so incredibly busy with all this stuff that's going on. And it can be a little tricky. But I suggest going out. There's a ton of books. There's a ton of articles that talk about meditation, how to properly meditate, that kind of thing. There's really some great guided meditations online that you can find. I may actually get into doing some of my own guided meditations. One thing that you guys don't know is I actually got certified at one point in my life as a certified hypnotist. I used to do guided meditations and stuff with people. I started doing that when I was going through my divorce. And that was basically where I learned how to meditate, was studying hypnosis. So, I don't know. May get into doing some of that at some point. But the third thing, and one of actually my first go-tos in stressful situations, is listening to some really awesome chilled music. Man, there is nothing that can sometimes get you in a better mood and chill out some stress than listening to some music. Hey, if you're in a really hardcore state and you're really stressed out, sometimes the only thing that can get you is some like nasty metal or some hardcore. Like for me, it's the hardcore drum and bass or some really nasty, dirty dubstep, something like that. I love my drum and bass, but drum and bass has got that other side too with the beautiful melodic. Oh man, I love me some good melodic, intelligent drum and bass. Oh, sometimes that's my meditative state right there. But you got to listen to the music that's right for you and will get you there. But when you're in a stressful situation, sometimes you might even need to check out the old school classical periods. Like the Baroque period is actually scientifically known to be one of the best musical periods for de-stressing, for musical de-stressing, basically. Is, everything ranged around that 60 beats per minute range there. And that was still at the time that they were toning to healing tones like 432 hertz or 528. I'm a huge fan of the 432 because that is like more of the A. It's an A tone, but it's a healing tone. The thing is I think it was like in the 30s, and it took shape in the early 40s worldwide. They changed basically the international music tone. Basically what everybody was required to tone music to for commercial recordings and that kind of thing was 440 hertz, which is actually researched by the military as a very stressful, angry tone. And that's, this is all, history, and you can go and look all this up. But 432 hertz is the healing frequency. So it can actually heal you physically and mentally inside from listening to music that is set to those tones, because it's the frequencies that really vibrate through your body. This is some real science stuff. It's out there, guys. I'm telling you, go research it. So the last few releases that I've put out under Groove Logic have actually been toned to 432 hertz. And I'm telling you, I feel a difference when I'm listening to music toned to that. I can't remember what the name of the software was. I ended up having to do it on a PC, but I think there was, I can use Logic Pro, do it as well if you're on a Mac, but you have to have the Logic Pro suite. You can't do it on GarageBand. But you can actually pull songs into the music editor and tone it to 432 hertz. Me, I write everything now. Like, I start my projects toned at 432 hertz. Because I'm subliminally trying to heal people, baby. Because that's what the world needs, is some healing. So if you listen to any Groove Logic music, especially Dreamscape, which is the latest album I've kind of come out with, and then Space-Time Continuum, and then I got a couple others that are getting ready to come out. Those are all set to 432 hertz. So, I mean, you got to also get, like I said, you got to find the music that's right for you, but you don't want to match aggression. Sometimes it is good to match aggression with aggression. Sometimes if I'm feeling really aggressive, instead of finding some random person to beat the living crap out of, I'll turn on some hardcore metal music or something and just jam out, bang my head for a little while, and I'll feel better. Sometimes that's what you need to push it out. Everybody's a little different when it comes to that. But it's always a part of my regimen is finding that right music to listen to during whatever situation is rising. So then we're going to go on to step number 4, and that is exercise. And, some of y'all may be thinking, dude, you're supposed to be on that doodly lazy side, but man, I got to work out some, man. I have been a lazy son of a bitch for a long time. And it does you no good, honestly. It does your body no good to just sit around and be lazy all the time. You've got to get up and get active and do stuff. It makes you feel good. If you don't get up and get active, you become extremely depressed, which is basically you just inducing stress on yourself. Is really all depression is just you putting yourself in a stressful state, really for no reason at all, other than the fact that you are sediment and you are not active and you are probably not eating healthy as well, which is step number 5. But we're talking about exercise right now. So and you don't have to go in and bust it in the gym all the time. It could be just as simple as going and taking a walk around the block, going and finding a nice park and just going and walking your dog or something for 15, 20 minutes. I mean, the dog needs exercise if you've got a pet, but get out and go walk around the block, maybe pick up the pace a little bit and go into a slight little jog for a second. But heck, you don't even have to do that. Walking long enough will actually work out really well. I've made some really long walks that I felt like was an actual workout, especially if you're walking up and down hills and things like that. Go take a hike. Go get out in some flipping nature, for God's sakes. Get out of the cities for a little while, or just find a really nice park like where I'm at in Eugene, Oregon. They've got parks everywhere, and there's nature parks where I feel like I can go out and feel like I'm out in the woods, but be in the middle of the freaking city, so I don't have to go far. It's really nice. But find a place that's in your area that you can go and go on a nature hike, get out, go get some exercise. Even if it's just standing up and stretching, like in between a break or something like that, can make you feel good sometimes, So if you're because we're all in these, the whole lockdown thing put everybody working from home. So we're all working in, home offices and stuff. Or I was at one point when I was working for Apple, but I'm no longer anymore. And it's a beautiful thing. I try to be as active as I can. Even though I'm sitting here building, blockchain stuff, I'm online a lot and I'm trying to make content a lot. I try to get as active as I possibly can. So then you also have to make it a point to eat right. So step number 5 is eating right and getting a healthy diet going on, because food is medicine. What you put in is what you're going to get out. If you're putting in garbage, you're going to feel like garbage. But if you're putting in good, healthy fuel, then you're going to feel a lot better. Now, during stressful situations, I know, and hey, trust me, I'm a fat boy from the South. I love my comfort food. I love my fried foods. I love all that good stuff. That's the one thing they don't have in Oregon here is good, flavorful food, unless you go, some corporate establishment, and then most of the time it's just, same old microwave crap. But yeah, man, you got to eat right. Because if you don't eat right, you ain't going to feel right. And that just causes all kind of stress in all kind of different ways. They want to pump you full of medicines and everything to make you feel better, when really all you got to do is just change your diet. Fruits and vegetables are obviously a great choice. Fish has a really high level of omega-3 fatty acids, which are known to help reduce stress. Because when you're getting those good amino acids and that kind of thing that your body actually needs, the vitamins and minerals that you're actually, that your body needs to operate, it's going to function correctly and you're going to feel good. You're going to have energy. Trust me. Like I said, I was a fat boy. I still am a fat boy, and I'm working on it, and I'm getting better on a daily basis. But I can always tell when I'm depressed and I'm stressed out. Generally, it's over nothing. And it's generally in times when I've been eating like crap and I've not been working out. I can handle things better. Like, I've been able to handle all this stuff going on with my family because I've been eating good and I've been feeling good because I've been working out. And I'm encouraging them to do the same. But it's helped me actually deal with that better because I can sit there and I can, handle it basically on a therapist kind of level, just because I'm feeling good. If I was feeling bad and it was, everything coming at me, then yeah, I'm going to feel bad. And it's going to become a worse situation than what it should be. It's all in your diet. And it's all in your drink, too. You got to drink a bunch of water. Stay hydrated, because without water, you can't really survive. If you're drinking a bunch of mixed drinks, I'm getting water in my Coke. Yeah, but you're also getting a whole lot of corn syrup and a bunch of crap that your body really doesn't need and it hates. And that's the stuff that causes stress, because the more of these flavored crap that you're drinking all the time, the more of that corn syrup, more sugar and all this crap that's going in your body, that's just garbage that your body's having to process, and it's going to make you feel agitated. It's going to make you feel stressed and anxious. Drink water, baby. Step number 6. And really, sometimes it's the same thing with breathing. If you just go take a few deep breaths and then just drink a cool glass of water or splash some water on your face. Man, water is life, baby. It's simple stuff. I'm telling you, it's all simple. You don't need a bunch of medications from the pharmaceutical companies to de-stress and be happy. You just need to get yourself right. Learn to breathe, learn to meditate, listen to some chill music, exercise, eat good, drink water. And you got to limit alcohol and coffee. Now, I drink my 1 cup of coffee. I used to drink like 2 pots a day when I was working for Apple. It was bad. I had to quit. Headaches were killing me. It was making me even more stressed and agitated than I was already getting through work. Just made it even worse. So you got to cut your coffee consumption down. You know, I like my 1 cup in the morning. I'm good to go throughout the day, you know. And when I feel like I need that pick me up during like in the afternoon or something like that, I may drink a very small cup of coffee, but I've been lately trying to go for like a bowl of fruit or something like that. Get that natural sugar in me to kind of give me that boost of fuel. So that actually works a little better. Alcohol, I'm telling you, alcohol ain't no good for you. Sorry, guys. Argue with me what you want. Red wine may help your heart. It helps your blood pressure a little bit. But you really only need like a glass a day, you know, or just in those stressful situations to help calm you down. Because red wine is known to actually help lower your blood pressure a little bit. But if you drink too much of it, it will have an adverse effect and go the other way. And it's just 1 to 2 glasses, not 1 to 2 bottles, Mom. So, yes, I am real as I can get here on the Pure Logic podcast, guys. So, yeah, cut your coffee and your alcohol consumption because both of those make you anxious, agitated, and stressed. For me, I like smoking a little cannabis, but if you got to go more, if you're in the anxious situation, sometimes the CBD side is a little better than THC. The THC can make you paranoid, and that makes people a little more anxious. Not me. I love my THC, baby. So anyway, step number 8, let's get through this, is scheduling breaks throughout your day. So, because we're going hardcore all day long, I know me, and then I even get people on Hive all the time telling me to, you know, I'm doing too much. Well, I've got methods on how I do things. Sometimes I get a little crazy when I get creative. Some people write down notes. Some people write business plans. I buy domains and build websites. That's just my thing. And sometimes I get too many things going at once, and it'll get me stressed out. That's just me. And then I can go for hours and hours and hours just building stuff, especially when I get the creative flow going. It's a beautiful thing. But if you're unfortunately in the old situation I used to be in, where you are sitting all day long doing a mundane job that you're really miserable doing, like I used to do with Apple, then you're definitely going to want to take some breaks throughout the day, clear your head, like don't get away from the office for 5-10 minutes. Your lunch breaks, get out of the office. If you're working from home, get out of the office while you are on break. Do not hang out in your bedroom if that's where your office is at, or if you have a separate office, that's even better. Mine, unfortunately, was in my bedroom, so I was just there all the time. But if you have a separate office, get out of there. Go outside, go do something. Get out of the room for a while. You got to take a break throughout the work days and that kind of thing, to take a breath and take some time for yourself. And it will really help you de-stress if you just do those breathing treatments throughout the day. You don't have to take a whole long meditation session. Sometimes it can just be a couple of minutes of just breathing and closing your eyes and just being quiet and being with yourself for a minute. Take some breaks. Number 9 is identifying at least one good thing that happened throughout the day. Because, everybody has those days. I like to call them Mondays. Sometimes they're also Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and Saturdays and Sundays, But however it is, you're going to have those days that just really just get you goat and just keep you pissed off. But, nothing seemed to happen right. But you know what? Just find one thing that went good with the day. For me, most of the time, it's just like, dude, I had another day. I made it through another day. That day sucked ass, but I made it through. Sometimes that's the positive outlook on it. I made it through, baby. I'm still rocking and rolling. I'm still here to take on tomorrow. And that's step number 10, is being prepared for tomorrow. You got to be prepared, kind of like, what you got going the next day. It makes your day flow a little better when you can get up and you've already got your stuff ready to go. Like for me, if I've already got my gym bag ready to go, it's easy for me to get up, get going in the morning, go get my coffee, drink it on the way to the gym. I get to the gym. I like to smoke a bowl before I go in the gym. I put my shoes on and that kind of thing in the parking lot, get my bag ready and go in. But when I've got to sit here and I got to pull out all the stuff that I need, all my clothes and everything, sometimes I end up just sitting here and not going in for another hour. I'll sit in the parking lot and I'll sit there twiddling my phone or whatever. But if I'm prepared and I'm ready to go, and I'm already it's sitting there and I'm looking at it kind of thing, it's going to motivate me to get in, get going, get my day started. So just prepare yourself, take a few minutes the night before to prepare yourself for the next day, man. And I promise you, you will have so much of a less stressful day if you just prep out a little bit, Think about the things that you got coming, Think about, you might take a minute and kind of mentally check, what you got going the next day. What are you going to do to prepare for, any calls, meetings, whatever it is that you might have? Just kind of mentally get yourself in check for the next day before you go to bed so that when you wake up the next day, you're going to be up and you'll feel good. You can take that moment and meditate, take that time for yourself, and you won't be rushing to get through your day, because if you wake up and you're like, oh, and you feel like you got to get it and you don't feel like you're getting together, if you don't feel like you've gotten yourself together in the morning time when you first get up and get going, then your whole day is going to be out of whack. But if you're already ready to go and you can give yourself that time to meditate, work out, do whatever it is to do before you go and handle everything else, I promise you it's going to make your day so much better. But anyway, that's my ramblings for the day, guys. I want to thank you again for coming back and spending this half hour with me. I hope you got something out of it. Again, I'm always talking to myself, so these are things that I'm dealing with in my journey, and these are things that I do to try to better myself and better my life. So hopefully you guys get something out of it, because this aggression will not stand, guys. It doesn't matter what's going on TV. If you handle yourself, you can handle anything. If you can handle the stress of the life, you can handle anything the world can throw at you. So that's it. I'm going to sign off. As always, be cool, be real, and always abide. Peace out, guys.